Dear students, I heartily welcome you to our online class. Hope you are all well. This is Sarbani Roy, Lecturer, Department of English, Govt PC College, Bagerhat. In my previous slideshow, I did with Pronoun Reference Part 1, and today I am going to discuss Pronoun Reference Part 2, and this will be the closing session of the item. Let's get started. So, my dear students, our today's topic is pronoun reference. In my previous slide, I discussed the problems we face while working with pronoun reference. And today, I am going to discuss the rules of working with pronoun reference. And you have to be very careful about the pronouns and the antecedents, and you always use correct pronoun reference, otherwise your sentence will be vague, will be unclear, or will be not understandable. So be sincere to this. Let's start with what are the basic rules for pronoun reference. If you want to use correct pronoun reference in your sentence, you must have some knowledge of the basic rules for pronoun reference, because I mentioned earlier that if you don't use pronouns correctly or properly, you will not be able to express your ideas, or your expression will not be correct. So it's very emergency to use correct pronoun reference, and so you have to know some rules. So my dear students, be prepared for the slide. Number 1, a pronoun must agree in number with the noun it refers to. That means the number of the pronoun and the noun which the pronoun refers, it must be the same number. That means if the noun is singular, then the pronoun must be singular. So there will be a coordination between the noun and the pronoun. Otherwise, your sentence will not be clear to your listeners or to your readers. So be careful about the use of number. We have a sentence here. Everyone is studying hard for their exams. It's an incorrect example of pronoun reference, because here as a subject we use everyone, but we use their instead of everyone. And we know that if we use each and every in a sentence, there must be his or her as pronoun. But in this sentence we use their instead of his or her. So it's an incorrect sentence or incorrect pronoun reference. If we want to have correct answer, we can use everyone is studying hard for his or her exams. Because I mentioned earlier that in the sentence where we use every or each, we must use his or her, not their. Another sentence can be all of the students are studying hard for their exams. So if you want to go with their, or if you want to continue with their, if you don't want to skip their in your sentence, then you have to use all of the students. So your pronoun must agree with your noun, and if you want to use there, you have to use all of the students, plural number. It will be the correct sentence. So be careful about this. Number 2, A pronoun must agree in person with the noun it refers to. That means the person of the noun and the pronoun will be the same. Be consistent with the first person, second person and third person. If you use first person, you have to continue with it. If you use second person, you have to continue with you. And if you use third person, you have to continue with the third person. There's no scope to mixing up with the three types of persons. You have to go on with the same person in a sentence. Here's an example. If a student studies hard, you should succeed. Here, as a subject, we use a student, but in this sentence, we use you. So, there's a confusion between the two types of persons here. At first, we use third person, but in the second part of the sentence, we use second person. But we know that there's no scope to make any confusion. Our pronoun must agree with the noun it refers to. But here there's no agreement between the two types of persons or between the noun and the pronoun. The correct answer will be, if a student studies hard, he or she should succeed. So here, in order to refer to third person, you have to use third person pronoun like he or she. Then your sentence will be correct and your sentence will be meaningful to your audience. Number 3, there should be only one possible antecedent for a singular pronoun. Only the noun that the pronoun refers to should come before the pronoun. In our previous slide, we came to know about this, that your antecedent must be a singular one. Because before the pronoun, if you have two or more antecedents, you will be confused. Or if you use two or more antecedents before the pronoun, your readers or your listeners will be confused about the antecedents which will be the correct one. So there's no scope to use two or more antecedents before a pronoun. Here's an example. Juan and Muhammad walked to his English class. Here we have two antecedents before a single pronoun. We have a pronoun his, but we use Juan and Muhammad. So we get confused about the noun. Which noun this his refers to? We actually don't know. To whose class who is going to? And so you have to make it clear, like Juan and Muhammad walked to Juan's English class. If we use this sentence, it becomes clear to the readers or to the listeners whose class is referred here. Or we can use it in another way, like Juan walked to his English class and Muhammad accompanied him. And so you must be clear in using antecedent. Otherwise, your sentence will be very vague or obscure or meaningless. Number 4, there must be an explicit antecedent. Don't make the reader guess what the antecedent is. your antecedent must be very explicit. There is no scope to use any obscurity, and there is no scope to make your reader guess what the antecedent is. Your readers must be clear from the very beginning of the sentence that what is the antecedent. Here's an example. In the study, they state that writing skills are important. In this example, we see that they state, but actually we don't know who are they, because there's no mention of they, and so our readers get confused about the persons, about the subject, who they are. The correct answer will be, in the study, the researchers state that writing skills are very important. In this sentence, we can understand who are they. They are the researchers. And you won't use, or you can't use they instead of using the specific noun. Here, after using the researchers, only you can use they. So, there must be definite noun in order to make your sentence meaningful. Number 5. A pronoun should not refer to a possessive noun. When a noun is possessive, it functions as an adjective and so can't be replaced with a pronoun. That means when a noun is used in possessive form, it functions as an adjective. So there's no scope to use pronoun instead of this noun. For example, here is an incorrect example. In the professor's comments, she was very encouraging. Here, our noun, the professors, is in possessive form. So, it functions as an adjective. So, in the second part of the sentence, we can't use she because she is a pronoun. She is not an adjective. But we know that if the noun is possessive, there's no scope to use pronoun to replace this noun. So, correct example will be, the professor's comments were very encouraging, or the professor was very encouraging in her comments, because her is also in possessive form. So, here, or the professor is a noun and her here can be used as a pronoun, but her can be used instead of adjective. Number 6, it must be used consistently. If you use it to refer to one noun in a sentence, don't use it again to refer to another noun in the same sentence or as an idiom. What we understand from this is that if we use it in any sentence in order to refer to a noun, then there's no scope or opportunity to use this it to refer to another noun. So we have to use it very consistently. For example, when it is busy, I hope to get a lot of sleep as it will help me work hard. Here we have two it's. One is it is busy and another is it will help me. But we know that there's no scope to use two it's in a single sentence. So the correct sentence will be, when it is busy, I hope to get a lot of sleep, which will help me work hard. So instead of it, here we use which. We have to be very careful about using which, that and these, because these pronouns can refer to entire sentences and paragraphs as well as single nouns. They must be used precisely. Incorrect sentence. My professor accused me of plagiarism. This was unethical. The problem is that which was unethical? The accusation or the author's plagiarism? Correct sentence will be my professor's accusation of plagiarism was unethical. That means my professor accused me of plagiarism, and which was unethical because I didn't do plagiarism. Let's have another type of use of who, which and that. The pronoun who is used to refer to people and animals that have names. The pronoun which is used to refer to things and animals that don't have names. The pronoun that is used to refer to things, animals that don't have names, and rarely collective or anonymous people. Avoid mixing up these pronouns. For example, a student that studies hard will succeed. Here, a student is a person, and so instead of that, we will use who. A student who studies hard will succeed. Now, have a look at the example. Here, there are some incorrect pronoun references. You have to find out this and you have to replace this with correct pronoun reference. Childhood seems to be the golden period of one's life when he becomes adult and recollects the memory of being a child. It is very sweet to call up them. If you often look back on one's boyhood days, they will surely turn you back to that. There's hardly any man he does not feel passionate while thinking about their childhood day. These are an excellent asset to any passionate person. Now look at the answer. Childhood seems to be the golden period of one's life when he becomes adult and recollects the memory of being a child. It is very sweet to call up the childhood memories. If you often look back on your boyhood days, they will surely turn you back to your childhood. There is hardly any man who does not feel passionate while thinking about his childhood day. The memories are an excellent asset to any passionate person. Now you have to match with the question and answer. And so you will be clear about using pronoun reference. And that's all for the pronoun reference. You have to practice more and more in order to be efficient in using correct pronoun reference. There's no alternative. If you want to do better in your examination, you have to be very sincere in this regard. So my dear students, that's all for today. In our next class, we will come with new topic. Till then, stay fine. Thank you.